Hello, everybody. Apollo leading us into this weekly collective reading. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is going to be the weekly collective. And wow, I had an intense evening of dreams because whenever you work with an energy like the one you guys chose, Anubis, it's pretty intense. Once in my past, I kind of like meditated to Shiva, and I was like, help me release whatever needs to be released. And I was up all night. Same thing was happening last night. So thank you guys, but we have a lot to talk about today. This is the weekly collective reading. It's going to help us navigate the next 7 days, just like it sounds. And we're going to look at channeled messages based on the topic that you guys chose for me. And we're looking at, again, Anubis, healing, lightening, and liberating the heart. And this is a god that basically will weigh the heart when you die against a feather and kind of help you see how you're tracking on this life. So it's a pretty powerful weekly collective topic because it's helping us check in to see where we're limiting ourselves in our heart space. It's helping us see where there may be opportunities for more growth, but for whatever reason, there isn't enough sort of like liberation to get there. So we're going to help you do that today, okay? Great choice. Powerful choice, actually. And again, I was up all night, which is why we're starting about 10 minutes late today. It's like, I need a little extra sleep and Apollo needs an extra walk so that we can get ready for the messages that need to come through. Speaking of which, let's go into the channeled messages. By the way, everybody's welcome. We have a little bit of a checkpoint for the elements, but otherwise the weekly collective is for everybody. That's why it's called a collective. So there were different themes that were coming through in my dreams last night. One of them was jealousy. There's no other way to say it. I was looking at competition, like the lens of competition, and there's a couple of things with the jealousy piece. One, we can always kind of go to the Four of Cups on this one, which is comparing yourself to someone else and feeling disgruntled that you're not there yet. I just pulled that in a daily reading. And I mentioned that when you limit yourself to the 3 cups in front of you, you're missing the cup that's right there floating. You know, the universe is offering you one. So one thing that I would say is we never know what that person went through to get where they're at in this moment in time. And, in past lifetimes, in this lifetime, emotionally. So the comparison, it isn't very useful, except to possibly inspire you. What traits do you have in similar? Like, what's if you had a Venn diagram, where are you similar? Where are you different? Is there anything that you would like to possibly bring into your own sort of habits and practices that could help you achieve a similar thing? So you can transmute jealousy into inspiration, saying, I like that. What can I do? How can I achieve it? And good for that person. They must have worked hard. Let's just assume the best. So that was one theme that I saw, was a theme of jealousy. The other one was, there's a clear message from spirit, and there's no better way to say it also. This particular, I feel like I'm working with like Azrael as well with Anubis. It's very direct. So there's no going back is what spirit is saying. For some of you, there could have been a relationship, a job, or a friendship that it's in the past, and it's in the past for a reason. And if you were to re-engage, I was shown it through the lens of work, but no amount of money or sort of like, cherries on top is really going to make it worthwhile because you know how the story ends. And that's one other message coming through. The reason it's coming today is because of the thought process. I could have done this. I wish I had said that. What if I had tried, this approach? Okay. We'll never know completely, but now you can apply those lessons to the future, to the present. And that's really where the power is, knowing that sometimes the past is best left in the past, but you can be informed by it, you can learn by it, and you do not have to be tethered to it. You're not defined by one moment in time. You can grow, you can change. That's why we're here. This is also interesting too, was simplify the messaging is the way it's coming through. So I was shown something where someone was trying to cram too much information into too small of a place. One thing that we can think of like in everyday life is a logo. The most powerful and effective logos are typically very simple. You think of like car manufacturers. There are certain ones where they can just do it in one small symbol. You know who it is. You know which car it is, or you know which computer you're looking at. You know which sport or athletic shoe you're looking at, because a lot of times it's like a check mark or an apple or whatever it might be. You're like, yep, I know it without the words. I was looking at someone that was putting all of this stuff into the space. I'm like, just limit it to one thing. There's a new feature even on latest release of iPhones where you can take off the text because the icons are enough. You usually know which brand it is. So think iconically. Think about how you can simplify an approach, a message, and take out all of the words. It's something that happens a lot in corporations or when you are sometimes asked to partner with somebody and they're like, oh, well, add this. It's like the kitchen sink. Let's take the kitchen sink out. We don't need everything. Less is more. And that's going to help you also in your goals. Doing less, but doing it more effectively. Be an icon. That's kind of the way it came through because I was shown a bunch of symbols and icons. Let me see if there's anything else. I think I got most of them. Oh, this one's really, really important. Come prepared with questions. So if you have an important meeting, maybe you're on the interview side or you're the interviewee, make sure that you've shown that you've done your homework, because I saw the other person otherwise taking the steering wheel and kind of steering the conversation. So in order to remain in a position of authority, power, or at least having a seat at the table, it's important to speak up, to have a point of view, and to let people know what that point of view is. These are pretty powerful messages, and they were shown through the lens of different experiences, different moments. Some of them they weren't in my lifetime either. I was like, what are these? I also even saw for my little Apollo, who's now, I have to change the camera view a bit, but his past, which wasn't the best, I saw where he was like abandoned by the side of the street. He was hit by a car before I got him, so he's a rescue. And then I just saw that. I'm so happy that I connected with that. So this is also an encouragement to give people a chance, because with my little furry guy, I'll get the camera down there, but he basically, when I first got him, his personality wasn't completely intact. It took him a while to find his voice and his energy because, yeah, he didn't experience a lot of trust. He knows we're talking about him, so he's actually chewing at his toy. I will show him briefly here. But yeah, Apollo had a challenging couple of moments, and I'm so happy I found him too. So give people a chance. You never know sort of like where it may lead, and who people may develop into. This is true of adopting children. This is true of people that may have been through trauma or challenges in their life. If given the proper environment, they can thrive. So give people in your life a chance to thrive. It's worth it. Okay? All right. Let's get started, folks. We're going to begin with a 7-day forecast. And just like it sounds, this is going to help us navigate all of the energy for the week ahead. I have a few decks that I was called to use today. I actually think I'm going to use this one for the main reading, but I'm going to I had to purchase a couple of new ones on my own because I'm like, I missed these, and they didn't come through. So we're going to do an animal one here, the Wild Unknown. It's been a moment since I've used it. All right, let me turn the table down. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see everything better. And let's get started. All right. Take a moment, please. Close your eyes. Let go of any of the things that we just talked about. We're focusing on the week ahead, not the past. We want to see potential. So imagine a blue sky above you or a starry sky above you. Connect with one point of light and really see that you are now open to source, guides, spirits, and angels. Let's bring it in. All right. That's for today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is a gorgeous deck. All right, let me get to the day markers and we will begin. All right, so we're going to start off with this Sunday. We have the King of Cups coming through. I love this swan energy, showing that just what we were talking about. You can go from kind of like that ugly duckling phase to this beautiful regal swan. And for many of us, you really don't know what the future holds. You have to really sort of like look at the potential and focus on possibilities. This is a day for creativity, heightened sort of intuition, and yeah, it's a great day to hang out with others. I even liked what I saw with the daily kind of checkpoint, and this kind of brings it more context. So the Eight of Wands that I pulled for today shows that anything can kind of move forward. This card is telling you to tune in and spend some time with friends, have some fun, do something fun. Don't just focus on work. So we're going to add a little piece to the daily card pull. That's why you want to watch the weekly collective. And it's saying, amidst all of those things, make sure that there is time for creativity, for joy, for love, for friendship, or for just taking care of yourself. And relationships include our furry friends, which I was just talking about. Okay, so overall, great energy for today. Great way to start the week. Now let's look at Monday, the beginning of the work week. Interesting. So we have the Sly Fox on the Seven of Swords, and it's sitting on top of the seventh sword. So this is what we were talking about. It really connects to leave the past in the past, because the Six of Swords is movement. The seventh sword here, though, is someone trying to come back and say, and they're trying to show you maybe this disguise of change, but you can see through it. It's going to be different this time. Trust your senses on this one. And if it doesn't feel like they've done the work, it's not worth it. Better to take a risk or a leap of faith in a new direction, try something new, and that's one message that comes through because of the way this was illustrated. You can't outfox the fox. You can also be the fox. So if somebody comes through and they're trying to put some snake oil in front of you and tell you it's something that it isn't, just know if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Be discerning in contracts and any sort of agreements. One thing that I saw in my dreams too is a handshake isn't enough. Get the specifics on the payment or money portion of contracts, because there was something ambiguous. I remembered it felt like it was the first day of a job, but I was like, what is the pay again? What am I doing? How long am I working here? I had a lot of confusion as I was projected into this sort of liminal space that is the collective. So get the specifics. The other thing that I was shown is that they were, this isn't for everybody, but you'll know if it's happening, this feeling of I should have a little bit more. So if you feel like there's a low-balling sort of energy, call it to attention. The best way to kind of negotiate here is to give them an example of an industry standard or someone else in the same position. This may speak to gender biases or age biases, where it's like, you know what, this person's making the same. We've spent the same amount of time here. What's the difference? We have the same experience, and you're going to call it out. And I think you could be successful because it's basically sitting on an ace. So you're sitting on an ace. They're counting that you're not going to question it, but you watch this reading, so you will. Last thing here is just to be real with yourself. So a lot of times we fool ourselves. I'll start the exercise tomorrow, or this extra potato chip won't hurt, or whatever it is. Where we're like, I'm using sort of like diet and exercise, but it can also be changes, habits in our life. If you're trying to give up drinking or smoking or something of that nature. The journey begins today, or whenever you finally think to yourself, I'm ready. Otherwise, it's just a Seven of Swords moment and tomorrow never comes. So let's really put a marker on the calendar and circle the date and keep yourself accountable, or have someone in your life keep you accountable if necessary. Okay? On Tuesday, we have this really interesting illustration for the Four of Pentacles. And this I often refer to as the devil you know. So if something seems quote unquote good enough, this reminds you that there's, like the Sarah McLachlan song, there's so much more than good enough, and that kind of keeps you tethered. So this is one of the main messages that you wanted me to look at today. What's tethering you? Settling in love, settling in business, settling in general. There may be something better, but this is good enough. I'm not talking about like constantly always reaching. There is a point where it's like, no, this is more than enough, or I'm really fulfilled. Good, that's great. But if you know that there's a lack and you're just dealing with it anyway, this card is saying, take a closer look around, see, ask for a little bit more, have a conversation if you can. Don't accept less than enough. I'll pull the traditional card while we're talking, but a lot of times this is just self-protection or preservation. And that fourth pentacle is right over the heart space. And so I understand like where it's coming from, but it also limits your potential. And so I would encourage you in this moment to look beyond. So here's your traditional four of pentacles. And you can see she's just protecting her heart. And so sometimes we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to take a risk. But my argument here would be it's worth trying. You never know until you try. Okay? And this was maybe what I was seeing with the contracts where there's a possibility for more, for sure. Okay? Let's look at the midweek here. We have basically a newfound balance when it comes to time, energy, and money. So all the work that we've been doing Monday and Tuesday is paying off on Wednesday. So we have the the Six of Pentacles, which is balance. And make sure I put the day marker here. In the traditional spread, you would see, or in the traditional card, you see someone holding scales and two hands that are outstretched from two different people. So basically, it's about discernment. Just like if you think of a tree, you don't want to take all of the fruit at once because it's going to go rotten. You want to also leave some to go to seed so that other generations can be there. You want to be mindful of the resources. You don't want to strip the resources. Typically, this is the beginning of kind of like turning the corner. So if you've been experiencing a lack of love, support, or money, we're starting to see it come into balance, but this is reminding you to not overreach, to not go overboard, and you're very close to growth and recovery. So keep up the good work, everything in moderation. You can get most of what you want, just not all at once. That's the other thing. Be mindful of timelines. And if you can wait a little bit to spend money here or expend energy there, do it. That is going to help you have more than enough in the future. Work-life balance can also be a part of this. Everything in moderation. We start to see now a really bright spot in the week. The Knight of Wands coming through. For many of you, this can represent a feeling of rebounding energy and feeling like I really want this, I'm really ready. And I love the general sort of energy in this card. Moving forward with an idea, taking it to the next level, feeling powerful, feeling engaged. All of those are present with this particular illustration. Also, if there's something that you need, that you want, that you see, speak up. That's what I was talking about. Be ready with the questions, be ready with the insights, express those thoughts because people are ready to receive, but if you don't do it, someone else will. So this is kind of like the early bird gets the worm. We have a big old snake on this card, but it can also represent that. So this is your chance to really show your stuff. All right, as we look at the end of the week, a recalibrating moment for some of you, being gentle with yourself, self-care. Five of Cups. So we can see the mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, that version of the word, sort of like releasing emotions. There could be a trigger from something from the past. For those of you that have maybe gone through a breakup or something, you might run across a picture of someone on social media. If you've lost someone, you might be doing something and think of them and wish they were there. It can be like that, where your life is perfectly good, and then in a moment, you're thrown back to, oh, that's not here anymore. And that's okay. You're just integrating grief into this moment, and then also thinking, but look at where I am. And for some of you, it might be, look at how much better I am without that energy, if it was someone, like I said, that's better in the past. Or you're honoring the memory of someone and saying, I'm sure they would be happy for me. So it's like a bittersweet moment. This is also reminding you to focus on what's here. So the traditional card has 3 cups over like on the ground, and then 2 behind the person. That can represent love or friendship or relationships. But if you're in the energy of sadness, it's hard to see the sweet part. So we have to work through the bitter to get to the sweet. There is a sweet portion to it. So it's just a question of focus and perspective. You get to decide how and where you want to focus it. Definitely do the healing, and it is important to release the sadness, but there's something happy also. So if you can, push through and look around. This is always a curious 10 of Wands choice. I may pull the traditional one up for this one. So I actually see this as a very good energy on Saturday. It's about graduating or moving forward. But this particular illustration just shows the heaviness of it, or sometimes we can't look past that moment. So I'll give you an example. Sometimes we're so focused on graduating, for instance, that we don't know what the first job is going to look like, or we're looking at retirement that we don't know what comes beyond it. We're carrying the burden of both finishing it and then also, but he's not looking up. He's just looking at what's in front of him. So I would say the opportunity on Saturday is to look beyond the goal. I love being goal-oriented, but there's more than just the goal. What's the goal after the goal? What's the bigger picture? How does it fit into all of this? Also, as we can more accurately see with this illustration, you don't have to carry the burden alone. If there's a lot going on in your life, this may be a moment to ask for help, to take a step back. Wands is a suit where often the lesser cards, the simpler cards, are stronger. Two of Wands, you can get back to focusing on the big picture. Three of Wands is synchronicities coming through. Four of Wands is friendship. Six of Wands is success. Like, there's a lot of good ones in between, and you don't have to just focus on, I'm going to do everything. You can do less and then put your energy and focus into something that matters more, okay? And then all of it leads up to power. So 1 week from today, next Sunday, we have the Father or the King of Pentacles, and we can see that you're finally in that moment of seeing the big picture. Things are starting to come through. You might start to feel a little bit better. Love it. I think that this is a really great way to sort of end the week. Let's look at highlights and opportunities, and then we'll move on to the elements. So if I were to look at some highlights for this week, I think today is one. Sunday looks fantastic. I think that Thursday is also great. So on Sunday, relationships and creativity and intuition. On Thursday, anything that you have to do with business or, again, taking that creative idea to the next level, also great. And then next weekend's fantastic. 10 of Wands is completion. And then this card is really great for talking about money, personal development, deciding to really take charge of something. People are looking at you and they can see that you have great insights, that you have, that you bring something to the table, and it really is one of the best cards for leadership and power overall. All right, so let's get these organized and make some room on the table. I'm going to quickly adjust the camera settings because the sun is coming out. All right. It was a foggy morning here in Los Angeles. I'm not sure how it's been looking for everybody else, but definitely some fog today. Okay, so I'm going to use the Crow Tarot for this because we like it and it has some great energy connected to the other side. So let's let the crows come through. So here's what we're going to do for this. We are going to take a look at the elements, and if you're brand new here, this is the only piece that is specific to the signs. So we're going to look at fire, earth, air, and water just to quickly give everybody an update, and then we'll get into the special topic. Fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let's talk. All right, so for fire, we have the moon. What a beautiful moon card at that as well. What's interesting in this moon card is the caged bird and the bird that is liberated. So we have the cage here in the corner and then the liberated bird here. And the traditional card would show like a dog and a wolf, and we are sometimes stuck in what is expected of us. It's not necessarily what we want or what we need, it's what others want. And so I think one of the big messages this week is to move beyond projections. The moon is not its own light source, it reflects. And this is also a call to find the light within, not to just reflect expectations of others and try to live up to that. So be the source, don't give in to the reflection, liberate yourself and step away from, for instance, those Four of Pentacles moments where you're holding on. And we can just imagine that that door is open, it's not locked, you just have to push through. Crows are really intelligent, so it's sometimes you already know what you need to do, but you're stuck in it because of an emotional block. And that's how I'm interpreting this card. The moon is also a very powerful card. It shows your ability to see things as they truly are, see through the illusions. Also, there's a crow in the moon. That's kind of a fun little, it looks like clouds, but it's a crow. So it's intuition, it's clarity, and it's the ability to pull things into motion, because the moon also helps balance out the earth and it regulates the tides. So you have the ability to regulate things in your life, whether it's emotions, resources, or even have influence on people. Never underestimate that. It's a really powerful card. Don't be afraid to face your fears as well. All right. So that's everything for the fire signs. Honesty is key. It does connect also to the Seven of Pentacles. Keep your promises. All right, let's move on and hold others to account as well. Moving on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You have the Knight of Wands. Hello, hello. We got it in the spread as well. So this came through, let's see, I think that was on Thursday. So super powerful day for you. But what we see here is the motion component of this. This isn't as fast moving as the Knight of Swords, but it's pretty fast. And so thoughts are faster than light. Thoughts can kind of go anywhere. So I feel like you might be trying to catch up to the thoughts, or if you just could imagine that it could happen sooner, it could happen sooner. So try not to focus on the deadline. Focus on why you're doing it. Focus on the possibilities. Don't limit your daydreams, dreams, or visions. Take them to the next level. This is a leadership card. Some of you may also be running errands or kind of like doing all of the research and homework to make it happen. And just know this, that it's very much worth the time, the energy that you're putting into it, okay? People are looking to you maybe to solve problems too. Any of the court cards and wands are really good for like, how do you fix this? What should you do? And again, if you can quickly solve it, it could actually help take you to the next level. So definitely speak up, as we've been saying. All right, so it's a really good week for all earth signs. Let's move on to air. Many of you getting ready to enter into like Libras. It's your season here really soon. So we have another card that's connecting to the weekly spread, a different illustration. So we have the Six of Pentacles. I was mentioning not to strip resources too quickly. Here we can see the balance, so I'm very happy to see that. We see that you're saving a little for yourself. You're sharing with people who can make the most of it. Discernment. And it's okay to say no. That's the powerful thing in the Six of Pentacles. You'll be fine as long as you don't say yes to everyone. I know it's kind of like a double negative. So just say no as needed and say yes when it really matters most and can make an impact. Achieve better balance in your life. And again, for the Libras out there in particular, I love seeing the scales for you. It's showing that you're coming into your power for this next month ahead, not just this next week ahead. So embrace that. But all air signs can benefit right now from speaking up, creating balance, and kind of discarding things that aren't helping you move or spread your wings, as we talked about at the beginning. All right, let's move on to water. We have choices in the Seven of Cups. And daydreaming, planning, vision work, all very, very important. I love the heart here because that is connected to Anubis, who again, at the end of a soul's journey would weigh the heart because that was the seat of knowledge. So really listen to your heart right now. The bird is even kind of turning its beak towards the heart. Does it feel good here? Does it make your heart skip a beat? If it doesn't, why? Why are you connecting to it? Why are you considering it? Don't get confused. Don't let all the thoughts get in the way. Listen to the heart. It knows. Energetically, it knows, of course. The brain functions as our CPU, but the heart is our compass, if that makes sense from an energetic perspective. And more often than not, I've had the heart and the heart, heart and the head go in different directions. And I've made decisions where I'm like, this says no, but on paper, this is saying yes. And the brain can think you into a situation that doesn't make sense. Third eye and heart, we really want to tune into that. If you're confused, ask. If someone is spewing out a lot of general nonsense, we hear and see that a lot. You can listen to someone talk for 5 minutes. I'm like, what have you said? What are you saying? Keep it simple. So you could just ask them for that. Could you boil this down into the most succinct point? Because you lost me here, you lost me here. What are you trying to say? Is this a yes? Is this a no? Sometimes people won't commit. And if they're not committing, you know what that is? It's this. They're just trying to hide behind words. So ask for clarity, because someone could be throwing out glittering generalities that sound interesting or create a reaction, but they're not grounded. That's why the cups are floating in the sky in this particular deck. There's an air element to it that is always kind of interesting in cups. So bring it down to earth. Bring your own thoughts down to earth, bring someone else's, keep it clear, keep it concise, tie it to something tangible. That's where the success exists this week. All right, I didn't announce it, but we're gonna do something fun. I'm going to gift a membership. I think I still have one, let me see, hopefully I do. Membership gifting, yeah, I do, I have 5 more. We're gonna do it today. So here we go. To everybody that's watching, you have a chance, as long as you're subscribed. Here you go. Congrats to those who actually did receive a membership. I hope you enjoy it. There's the lucky 5 right now. And thanks to everybody that continues to show some love and support through that. By the way, you can always give back with Super Sticker Super Chat. You can gift membership or become a member. It helps. I've been rebuilding everything here. So with exception to this deck and the one that I'm going to use next, all the decks were gifted. So thank you to those that gifted. Thanks to those that are members. You've helped me kind of like seamlessly be able to continue, and I do appreciate it. So, all right, let's move forward. We're going to go to special topic now. So as I mentioned briefly at the beginning, this is a very special topic. This is about making sure that you're not missing out on something because you're tethered, because you're stuck. We're going to get you unstuck today. It's one of the more powerful ones. And because of the particular deity that we're working with, it's kind of no nonsense. When I work with Shiva, Azrael, or Anubis, they do not sort of like sugarcoat. So I'm sure that we'll get some very clear messages. I got a ton last night. I'll be happy to finish this reading so that that energy goes back into the stratosphere and I can focus. I was like, oh, today's going to be an interesting one. All right, close your eyes. Let's connect to your highest self. Let's bring in the angels, the angel rather of transformation. I mentioned Azrael. We'll bring in Anubis. We'll bring in Shiva. All of these energies of creation and destruction that were very much present in dreams and meditation. Let's do it. You guys asked for it. All right, let's begin. This is the Tarot of St. Croix. Independent artist. Very good deck. How amazing that this came through for today, because I mentioned 8 of Wands energy, movement. We're getting it right there with the catalyst, which is great. Yeah, the deck is on my website, or you can just Google the author because it's private. Not private, but it's independent. So Lisa de St. Croix, beautiful deck. Really, I think she just made it borderless, which is nice. Actually, I prefer it. It brings the images front and center. There are good things sometimes to having to repurchase the decks. I get a newer version. Okay, let's get everything set up and maybe zoom out just a smidge. All right, let's begin. We're going to start off again with the catalyst energy. We have the wigwam here showing movement. Reminds me a little bit also of like 6 of Swords, which I mentioned. So this is a moment to move the needle forward. If it's not moving forward, if there's something that is stagnating, the question from Spirit really is, why is the focus there? I always like to mention that it's more powerful to follow the energy. So now more than ever, this is true. If there is an energetic block for some reason in a particular aspect of your life, you can just put it to the side and say, all right, I see the block there. That's fine. How about this? I feel inspired when I look at this. I feel happy when I do this. Follow where that inspiration and movement leads you. That's going to be where your power is going to be most prevalent, okay? So beautiful energy with this. Let's go ahead and look at how it all connects with this spread here. So first of all, mostly upright. We only have a couple of reversals today in the Star and the King of Pentacles. So we have some synchronicities with what came through, but I always like to look at the diagonal. So the past is in the past here with Judgment. Judgment is perfect for Anubis. Of course it came through. That's literally what he would be connected to. Seeing beyond the obvious, going within, and seeing more than materials, because the material wealth and possessions and fame and all that jazz, it does not follow you into the afterlife, folks. It is love, it is experience, it is healing. All of those things you take with you. So already super powerful. Let's go to, we have two stars at the center. We call the sun, but it is a star. We have the star at the center, so two stars. Let's start off with the first. This one was the one of only two reversals today, very interesting. And so we have what looks like Isis or Mot. And this is perfectly connected to what we're talking about, death, rebirth, and the judgment of the soul. So one thing that I'm going to say today is focus on your own sort of loving energy towards yourself. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Don't worry about what others think about what it is that you do, how you live your life, who you love, how good you do in school, or whatever it might be in your life. Like, these are just external judgments, but they actually also don't matter when you go to spirit. We're talking about progress, and just who you truly are. You know who you are. Other people are looking through their own glasses, and different glasses yield different perspectives. So these are for close-up, these are for distance. I see the world differently with these. Try on a different pair of spiritual lenses and try to see yourself through a more rosier lens and more accepting lens, and be yourself. So what happens when this card is reversed is we are trying to live up to the expectations. When it's upright, we're leading the way. Even if, or especially if, other people are having a hard time catching up, you're saying, this is right, this is the way, listen to this. You're really starting to lead your own path. You're your own North Star. You're your own power source, right? This is also an important time for you to be in the receptive mode. So the fact that she's reversed may mean that she's just having a hard time receiving compliments, praise, or, wealth or opportunities. So know this: if something good has come into your life, there's value in you. But if you're self-deprecating to a fault, if you're constantly afraid to kind of embrace it, it'll go where the energy is open. So that's why I think it's important for you to be open to receive. Just say yes, thank you. If someone wants to help you out, or just say, that made my day, thank you so much. You're not forced to give a compliment in return. You're not forced to be, what's the best word? Trying to pretend like it doesn't matter. Just say thank you. That matters a lot. Thank you so much. So be accepting of something good. It wants to come through. Opportunities knocking. That's what I get with that. Okay. Now we have the Sun card, again, reminding you that you are the source, encouraging you to tune in, to lead, not follow. The sunflowers are heliotropic. They follow the leader. In this card, you're the leader. Are you ready to follow? Ready to have others follow you? And that's the challenging piece sometimes. We always want someone else to set the tone or set the stage. And in this moment in time, it's really like Spirit wants you to be the initiator, you to be the leader, if you're ready, if you're willing. This is birthing energy. This is creation energy. This is also when we're looking at things to heal, connection to parents. So if there's any healing that can or should be done there, now is the time to do that. Sometimes parents have a hard time seeing you as the adult that you are. So instead of having a little baby on a horse, they have an adult figure on this card, which I think is a cool choice on that as well. Okay? Looking into the deep past, we have something that completely aligns with this reading. So we have here, again, maybe the adult, and then we have the inner child that wants to be reborn. I'll pull the traditional card because it is important to see the traditional imagery, but I like this. This is connecting to the youthful side of you that's saying, let's not be so serious. Let's not worry how it's all going to have to happen. Let's just try it. Let's just do it. Sometimes kids just run into a situation without overthinking, and there's something to be said for that. I like to look at the Judgment card as one of reinvention. So if you've had a challenge in your past, if you've had a setback or a loss, it is a calibrating moment. I was thinking about this morning. I wouldn't change things, even difficult things, because they've all given me context and brought me to this moment in time. So who knows how that change would have shifted the timeline. I'm where I need to be in this lifetime at this moment. So here's your traditional Judgment card. We see souls rising up from the dead. We see Archangel Gabriel blowing the horn and saying, are you ready to go to the next level? Leveling up, that's also what this is. Second chances, leveling up, shedding your skin like a snake, and focusing now on what the next. You can't go back into the old skin. You're in your new form now. So again, there is a constant thing that all these energies of transformation want to bring forth, which is the past is in the past. You're very much in the here and the now. Embrace it. Look at how they're all embracing the energy. Just like we were talking about, like literally these two cards are about embracing. We can see her embracing it. We can see, if we turn it the right way, this is also a hug or an embrace. So it's just a matter of being able to embrace the change and the growth and the new you, okay? If you can't, then I can't, or I'm gonna have a hard time, and other people will as well. All right, we have Queen of Cups coming through, taking a moment to enjoy, to drink it in, to also kind of like, what's the best word on this one as well? It's kind of like the harvest energy that we talked about earlier, to say, hey, I'm going to enjoy, to just kind of like be present. And I feel like sometimes we're in a rush, we're hurrying. Queens are very receptive energy. So she's telling you the way to receive is here. So healing the heart. Is there regret? Because I picked up on some of that in dreams. Is there jealousy? Because I also picked up on that in dreams. Is there a lack of self-acceptance? Because that was also one of the messages. Wherever your heart is locked, you always have the key. It's about going in there and saying, I did the best I could. And even if I didn't, I'm going to do better today. Find the road to forgiveness. Then and only then can you really reap the benefits. And she wants you to, and so do I. Okay? This is recent past. There could be love or opportunity that's coming in or wants to come in, but I saw the hesitation. So even if you didn't immediately act or said the wrong thing, judgment is still there to help you step into it. You can just say, I'm so sorry I didn't properly introduce myself. Here's my name, and yes, I'm interested in whatever this is. Like, you could just say I was having an off day. Talk about your feelings. And I know it's hard for us to do that sometimes, but this card is really showing the power and the strength when we finally do articulate that and show a little bit of vulnerability, because interestingly enough, I think everybody has moments where they're just not completely themselves. And so that can be a very humanizing moment. Creativity and intuition, very, very strong this week. Connect to them. A choice needs to be made, folks. The Two of Pentacles shows you torn in two directions. One that is expected, one that is desired, one that might be more of a leap of faith, one that is very predictable. This is basically the universe saying it's time for you to make a choice. What is your choice? There is no wrong choice. But the minute you sort of embrace with one or the other, that's when things start to get powerful. That's when things start to get exciting. So let's pause for a second. Apollo came back. I'm going to pull him into view. He always helps a little bit, all of us. So do what Apollo's doing in the background here and just relax and be present and allow others to sort of see you and and allow yourself to decide what it is that you want. So one thing that I love with both children and dogs is they know when it's important to kind of like just take a break or get it out energetically. So when was the last time you meditated? When was the last time you just took a walk or took a nap? Bless you, Apollo. Thanks for your little teachings and messages here. I do appreciate it. All right, let's get back into the spread here. In the near future, Two of Swords. So these two are very, very similar energies. This one is saying, I want to do both. And this one is saying, I don't know which one to choose. This card is saying when you make a choice, it'll be the right choice. There is no wrong choice. It's very kind of like Oracle from the Matrix advice here. The only bad choice is no choice, because that is stagnation, that is indecision, that is tying you here to basically immobility. So worry less about right versus wrong, perfect versus imperfect. It's just about taking one step at a time, okay? This card also invites you to go deeper. It isn't always obvious. The choice isn't always obvious. So oftentimes we have to simply go within and trust what? The heart. So the eyes aren't going to show you. The knowledge isn't going to show you. Sometimes even your third eye can't perceive it because there's too much attachment. And so that is why in this moment in time, it's going to be really valuable to slow down and to tune in, okay? Eight of Swords, here we go. This is, I think this also came through earlier when I was looking at, no, I was looking at a different one with the two birds. It was in the Crow, wasn't it? Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. No, oh, I see, it was this one. So I was looking at the sort of caged bird and the uncaged bird here. So notice here that there is an opening, which is very cool. So if you're willing to walk through that opening, that can be a great moment in time. So I think the main message here is look in all directions and just see beyond what is predictable, see what is beyond what is right in front of you, and think to yourself, I'm ready. I deserve this. I'm free to decide. You've got two cards with blindfolds. So denial is what I'm picking up on. Someone could be denying you. You could be denying yourself. The two feed into one another. So go beyond that and think to yourself, of course, you deserve to be happy. I don't know if people have told you that in your life. You are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of wealth and opportunity. You do not have, pain and struggle are two teachers, but they do not need to be the deciders for if you are, deserving of something. So no pain, no pain. Forget the no pain, no gain. We don't need pain as a teacher. You do not need to be a martyr to be able to be loved. You can be successful, you can be resilient, you can be powerful, and good for you. And if people have a problem with that, the jealousy that I was picking up on could also be in the environment. That's their issue, not yours. You're doing the work. So we're going to let go of the teachers that are difficult because you've graduated. This wouldn't come through if you haven't graduated those lessons. But you have to be willing to have some fun and embrace the opportunities. Okay? Pretty powerful. I don't often see those two cards coming through, but yeah. And this is also saying, as someone mentioned in chat, just spread your wings and fly. There is no top to the cage. There is no door on it. It's I just remembered it now, so thanks to the person in chat. But this is the prison of thought. That's the way. So I look at the Four of Pentacles as the devil you know. I look at the Eight of Swords as the prison of thought. I can't, therefore I won't. So, or I won't, therefore it's not going to happen. Like when you put a block, yeah, it's done. Even if something is in front of you. So at least try, at least entertain the option. You might be surprised at what comes through. You're not alone. So this can be your sort of, your entourage, your friends, your family, because look at how they're ready to take arms and fight for you, right? So the Seven of Wands is usually a solo card. Usually there's one person holding the wand at a diagonal and they're fending off all of this other energy. This artist flipped the coin, and what we see here instead is everybody, you have support. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. Ask for help. There may be something worth fighting, and this card is showing that the fight could be very fruitful. If there's a legal or a moral or some sort of logical fight that you need to kind of go after, fight the good fight. Don't fight just for the sake of an argument, but sometimes it's worth it. And that's what this is showing me here. And you're not alone. I see support in the environment rather than people trying to push you. It's a matter of tapping into it. You may not even know that you have support there, right? Okay. Ace of Swords coming through in opportunities, also hopes and fears. Sometimes we're afraid to speak up. The ace can be communication. Sometimes we're afraid to write what we want, our intentions. Sometimes we're just afraid to go after an idea. This card is saying, release the fear and embrace with the initial step, the initial action. It's upright. So it's also about affirmation. When someone is negative, instead of meeting them on the level, what you want to first do, here's a really good technique in persuasive speech. I took rhetoric when I was in high school. It was the best. I should have taken rhetoric too. I took the first one, but it was basically public speaking. So what you want to do is concede to the opposition. So if someone says something that is completely counter to your belief, but you can see where they're coming from, start with that. I hear that you said this. I see why you believe that. I think I might have even felt that way once, but I've arrived at a different path because of this, this, and this. And I think we have a common goal, which is that. Have you ever thought about trying this? Now you've suddenly said, you've met them with respect. Yes, we have different opinions, but I understand you. Try to understand me, try to see this. Maybe we can talk this out and find a way through it. So use your communication not as a dagger, which we are so often seeing nowadays. Everybody goes to the negative. Everybody goes to the critical. They never bother to ask, how did you get there? Why do you feel that way? Have you thought about this? It's a more powerful way of communicating, more effective way, and it lifts up. And it doesn't put the person on the defensive, because you could turn someone that is previously an adversary into an ally. That is one of the powerful things coming through here, because they're like, oh, wow, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe I will. And just say, well, the door is open, and yes. And I'd love to hear more about your perspective. Maybe I missed something. If we just had some more decorum, some more, what's the manners? There is a lack of manners, and it goes all across the public arena. The way that the press treats people, the way that people treat people on social media. We're not even talking about politics, but like there's so many different energies out there where negativity has become the norm. So let's go to positivity. Let's ask questions before we arrive at a decision. Let's go there, perhaps, right? Or not. The choice is yours. That's what I see here. All right, and then I mentioned this earlier. King of Pentacles in the outcome. This is really speaking to looking beyond the sort of like glittering gems that we often sort of ascribe to, like wealth, success, popularity. Yes, these things are fun, but they will not come through the lens of death and rebirth. You cannot take all of the stuff in this picture to the other side. It stays on this planet because we're in a physical realm here. We're not going to move. You can't bring the coins to the next dimension. So why not share it? Why not teach and share and be open and basically go to the energy of generosity? This is a self-serving card when it is reversed. So if there's anyone in your life that only focuses on what they get out of it, well, how about me? Or why should I do it? Me. They're singing solo. Then this is really an opportunity maybe to sever ties there. If you haven't taken care of yourself, this is the one time that it's okay for this card to be reversed. So this can be self-care in the form of, getting the medical care that you need, getting the rest, getting the emotional support that you need, etc. Making sure that you're feeding your mind, body, and spirit. And that, my friends, is a nice segue into the next portion where we're going to go deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. And starting off first with health, which is mind, body, and spirit. So let's see what your oracle card was for that. Okay, this one is reversed, but let's look at it. Again, we're looking at health, and it says, my happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. So happiness and faith are connected. If you don't have faith in yourself, if you don't have faith in others, it tends to deflate your inspiration, your ego, yourself. So we're really looking at things in your life that bring you hope. If there is something where you leave it thinking, I just felt like all the air exited the room, that is something you shouldn't do anymore. That's a person that you do not need to be with anymore. I'm sure you've had conversations with people where it's like 9 times out of 10, they're having a bad day. That is someone who does not leave you with a hopeful feeling and whom you probably can't help or change because they're not willing to look beyond the 4 of Cups moment or the 2 of Swords or the 8 of Swords. And so those 2 and 8 of Swords that we picked up on could also be someone that it's like the cartoon of the person with the cloud over their head. Some of you may have that person with the cloud over their head. So we're going to move into energies that are more bright because like attracts like. So you definitely have this energy of the sun, and there's a star that wants to connect with you. Shine. There's a great, I like this movie. It's from the early 2000s, I think. Based on Neil Gaiman. The novel's good, but the movie has a happier ending. Stardust. And there's a character in the movie that is a star, and she has a line. She's like, what do stars do best? They shine. It's a great thing to think about in this moment in time, in this week in particular. I want you to do whatever makes you shine, whatever makes you smile, whatever makes your heart skip a beat, whatever makes you want to get up in the morning. Be like the star in Stardust and shine. This is your moment, okay? All right, let's look at this from again, standard disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm looking at energy and how the energy can affect the body. So if you're feeling any of this, work with a professional. This is basically just an energy sort of reading with respect to health. Something could be swept under the rug. So 2 of Swords is ignoring. 8 of Swords also kind of ignoring or not tuning in. Listen to your body. If something feels off, now is the time to deal with it, to manage it. If you don't know what it is, ask. Say, hey, doc, I'm feeling this. What do you think it could be? I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. Find an expert. That's really what these 2 cards are saying. Solar plexus energy coming through, actually pretty strong. Keep doing what you're doing with respect to that. Again, healing when it comes to familial wounds also coming forth. So this is really interesting. It kind of filters into the next portion, which is relationships, but we'll talk about it while we're here. There may be a person in your family. It's coming through in divine feminine, so it could be mother, sister, or just a guardian or teacher. Divine feminine energy that has a hard time seeing you shine because they're afraid that you might go your own way. They want to kind of hold on to you where you're at. So that's why I'm getting like parent teacher, but it could also be sibling. Whoever it is, it comes from a place of love, but it's misplaced love. So you can't hold on to a star. You have to just let it be, and you have to be in astronomy, not astrology, but in astronomy, our sun is kind of the rarity. There are a lot of binary and tertiary systems, binary being, I think, the most common, where the 2 stars rotate around each other. Sometimes it's very peaceful. It doesn't always have to end in a supernova. They can just exist. Different sizes, different energies, different colors, and that's it. There's 2 brilliant energies that rotate. So why can't it be that? It doesn't have to be all or nothing. That's why forget about twin flames. I look for twin stars. Someone who has their own gravity, their own energy, their own light source. So there's someone in your life that just has a hard time seeing you succeed. So be it. You'll be okay, and you can eventually show through your own actions that it does not have to mean that you have to mute your light. Don't mute your light. We're talking more about relationships, but it affects emotional states. So there you go. Some of you are saying, Nicholas, I have a hard time meditating. I have a hard time slowing down. So try different things. It does not have to always be, cross-legged, lotus position, eyes closed, hands in a mudra. Music is meditation. It actually helps. It helps kind of alleviate tension. Animals, he's in the other room, in the bathroom, actually. There's another mat there. He likes to move around. But dogs and cats, and we have birds here. Any type of animal, nature is a great form of connecting. So try something different. Arts, the arts in general, whether it's dance or music or drawing, animals, children, anything in your life that brings you into a different emotional state and takes you out of your ego, your head, and your stress. That is a form of meditation. So there you go. I'm all for music. Take a hike, listen to an artist that you like. Try to have a song that lifts you up rather than one that is in anger or is lower. So we want to awaken and enlighten. It can be pop music. It does not have to be religious. It does not have to be mantra music, but just a little bit more on the positive end. That's what I would say. Okay. Journaling could also be really helpful in this moment in time because it helps you figure things out. Seeing it in writing, seeing how your thoughts change over time, all of these things are really valuable. Don't overdo it. King of Pentacles can be overeating, overworking, over anything, all things in moderation. We can see all the stuff here on the plate. Just because it's on your plate doesn't mean you have to eat it, but we're looking at this figuratively speaking. So your boss can be throwing a lot of things that you have to do on your responsibility plate. There could be a lot of people trying to get on your social calendar. The requests can come in just like items on a buffet, but you don't have to eat them all. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to say yes to everything. Discernment, as we've been talking about, is really important. And I think those are the main things. One last thing, since we basically have death and rebirth as part of today's reading, you could have had a brush with death. You could have had a close call. You might have lost somebody. This is now your choice to choose differently and to do better in this particular moment, to exercise good judgment, okay? Get moving too. Any type of movement. You can move in your chair. You can move in the water. You can move in a traditional exercise class. Just moving the body is very advantageous. I think that's it. Let's move on to wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. And so we have the mask here. The card is on its side. Some of you might just be revealing your own true character, desires, wishes. Someone may come through this week rather, and we saw the Seven of Swords energy arriving at the beginning of the week. So you're going to see through it, unmask it. This also is a very liminal card, fancy word for that in-between space. So you might be somewhere between deciding and doing. And when we're looking at wealth, that's a really powerful place because it's a position of potential basically right now. So embrace the potential. Don't overthink. Don't worry too much. Try to kind of like just walk beyond that line of comfort. And I think that's when things start to get exciting. Let's look at this in three major perspectives. Those who have a job, job seekers, students, and retirees. So if you have a job, you may be traveling a lot. There may be a lot of movement going on. The frustration for some of you is, am I seen? Am I heard? Am I appreciated? Maybe your leadership, maybe your peers don't always do a good job at saying thanks. You may be doing the work of at least two people. And so in this moment, it's important to speak up and advocate for more help. It looks like once you speak up and do it from a place, again, we talked about persuasive techniques. I think you can get what you're looking for, maybe not immediately, but this is about starting it in the right momentum or movement or path. What I do like a lot in this moment in time is your ability to shine, and there could be jealousy. I feel like you're doing a good job. Keep doing it. Ignore the jealousy, and I feel like you can outshine that, and you might be taking people by storm or surprise, unexpected, maybe even like not even fathomable. And you're like, oh yeah, I can do this. And you do it and you knock it out of the park. So show people just how powerful you are, and maybe that there's a hidden skill or insight, and you could really use that to your advantage in this moment in time.
Writing and speaking coming through here, wanting to have more of a voice, wanting to exhibit a little bit more creative control. Yes. And the good thing here is I'm not seeing a lot of limits. The only thing that I question, and it's probably a small subsect, but like we have judgment here in the deep past. If you are not aligned with someone, it may be time to look in a new direction. If you feel like at the beginning of an engagement, I don't know if I want to do this. Do you really want to do it? I think this is really a reality check with not doing something that doesn't feel right. There's options on the table, and we see that for some of you, this might be about kind of like throwing a line out there to see if you can catch something, and you might be able to. So it might be time to look, or at least ask for more. Could I have some more, like Oliver? But not in a sort of just say I'm ready for this. It's time. Not in that sort of can I have some more? More in you're holding the scales and saying I've worked hard. I'm worth more. What are we going to do about that? Okay, not an ultimatum, but stating worth and asking for assistance. Okay, shifting this sort of focus now to job seekers. I'm just validating that it may be challenging this week. 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords. People that you've sent stuff out to right now, don't get disheartened if they don't get back to you. First of all, someone may be traveling and they may not be checking their phone or their device, mobile device or whatever, until they get back. So there could be a slight delay there, 1 or 2 weeks. I also think the universe is inviting you to look beyond. So if there's a lot of no's, see if there's a completely different path that you could be looking at, different industry, different opportunity, different way of presenting yourself. All of these things could help. And make sure that you're not underselling yourself. We don't want to oversell, but we also don't want to undersell. Hit that sweet mark in the middle where you're putting out exactly what your skills are. And be bold, not to the point of being cocky, but being bold and confident is something that leaders are looking for, because you want someone that is going to bring stability to the equation. What a sun does is it's very good at organizing things. So I'm looking at organizational skills. And then, of course, we have 2 cards showing imagination and insight. So speak to the creativity and your organizational skills. It could take up to 2 weeks to see some traction. I do get a yes. Don't focus on the places that you've already applied to. It's something different. It's something new. Or you have to wait an extra week and you may get the reply there, okay? Definitely look at the fine print and the money. I feel like there's a low ball offer in this sort of current list of people that you're looking at. Let me take a drink and then we're going to look at students next. All right, that's better. Students, I like where you're at. First of all, it feels like you're in a very good space. Like there may be almost too much going on. You're like, how can I soak this all in? Maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed by a new class that is challenging, but I actually feel like you can do this. I think you're, though, at your fill. Don't take on anything new. We talked about the plate. It feels like we don't want to put on one more thing. That could be the straw that breaks your back. I think that the main thing here is a lack of clarity of what's beyond the moment. So I've mentioned this before. Apologies to people who've heard it, but I had an advisor who waited until the day that I got my diploma to say, now what? I'm like, we really should have had this conversation about like, what are you going to do in the real world before then? Because in that he did help me get a job, but I kind of was taken by surprise because I'd focused so much on getting this like grad degree at the time. I wasn't thinking of really, where do I want to work? I just knew what I was interested in, and I hadn't given enough thought to it because I was used to being a student. I'd been doing it for a long time, 12 years of high school, 3.5 years of undergrad, and then a couple years of graduate. And it was like, you just get used to studying. And I was like, oh, what is the real world? What is it that I want to do? Students, I'd like you to take a moment. I think this new generation is a lot better, but how is this going to make you happy, change the world? What is it that you see yourself doing? Does it give you enough flexibility to change and grow? Because unlike even when I was studying, we need to shake it up. I 3 or 4 times had to do complete 180 shifts in my career, including what I'm doing now. So I just am pretty good with change. Clearly, for those of you that are watched, I can change environments and keep doing it. So flexibility is good. Create a program that can lend you some flexibility. Take some business classes, take some finance classes, they'll help you. Take some psychology classes. If you have electives, those will help you too. Public speaking. All of those practical skills are really, really important. So round out what you're studying so that you are not painted in a corner, so that you're going to be able to fly no matter what blocks are put in front of you. And that's the big gift that I can give you for today. I think that I also really like the team around you. Advisors, students, student union, whatever, not student union, but like student organizations. There's some good resources. Please tap into those. Okay, moving on to retirees. What's in the past is in the past. And one of the hardest things to deal with sometimes is like, all right, so I'm not working for a company or for myself. Now I'm just kind of like, what is this now? You get to define it. We talk about this a lot. What I'm getting in this moment that wants to come through is self-care and creativity, because those are these 2 cards, but really creativity. And so maybe you were so focused in the past on having to practically do something and live up to others' expectations that you never really got to do what you wanted to. Whether that means going back to school, dressing differently, moving to a new place, changing up who you hang out with, whatever it is, be extremely bold in this moment, because these are the golden years. That's why we have this golden card here. Let's really make sure that this is an exciting period of time. I get that there may be this ambiguity. I'm not sure what to do. You're not alone. There's an army of people that feel the same. Ask others how they're doing it. Imagine what you'd like to do and try it. Treat yourself. You deserve it. This is a moment to really look beyond the labels. Labels don't really serve a purpose anymore. We are not guaranteed any amount of time, so it often falls in the retirees portion, but it's for everybody. Every day should count. If today you're doing something and it doesn't bring joy, make sure that tomorrow you're not doing that or you're trying something else. Take risks, calculated risks, but particularly when it comes to creative endeavors, relationships, and your general trajectory. Now is the time when you really have the ability to do it. Sorry. And maybe Wednesday's the day. All right, moving on to love. This is romantic, platonic, friends, and family. Let's see what's coming through for this. Interesting. All right, so on this card, it's almost impossible to read, but ancestors are coming through. The polar bear is in the background. In general, this whole card is kind of icy and stuck, and we're looking at ancestral things that are holding you back. So stuff that your grandparents and parents passed on to you, maybe unknowingly, maybe even beyond that. Maybe there's cultural energies that are being passed on to you. So you're kind of, if we look at a frozen symbol like this, you are thawing that out and saying, yes, that's part of me. That's one piece of the pie that represents my soul, but I'm all of that and then some, like the Ani DeFranco song, 32 Flavors. So that's just one of the many pieces of you. Don't let it be the only definition. So our souls are myriad. They are like spectrums. There's a song by Florence and the Machine, Say My Name and Every Color Illuminates, spectrum. So see yourself in the spectrum of possibilities, melt through that frozen energy of ancestral or familial grief or maybe even debt or pain. It is a part of you. You're not denying it, but you're not letting it be the defining piece. It can make you stronger. It can make you different. It can make you shine, but you're more than that. So you need to hear that maybe. It's a good reminder for all the rest of us. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at 3 major categories briefly. We're going to focus on those in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you are in a relationship, these are really powerful, folks. So twin stars and judgment, past life. So we see karmic energy And the karmic energy is playing out here, which was control. So seeing one another as the equals that you are, not trying to control the other person. And that is the sort of difference that we also see here in this particular kind of combination here. Receptive, creative, warm. And this one is very much focused on, if I don't see it, it can't be. Less touchy-feely, more like very almost skeptical. So what we're trying to do is find a place in the middle where you can see beyond what's obvious, but you can also ground it in this everyday. So we have different worldviews, actually. It is what makes the relationship strong, because there's a playful and creative side, and then there's a practical and balanced side. But let's kind of like give each other turns to shine and not try to change, and maybe again try to adapt and adopt some of the best qualities, and let the other stuff just be, because we all have the right to have a little bit of differentiating qualities there. I actually feel like it can work out. The biggest challenge in current relationships is this: feeling like you don't see me, you don't hear me, you don't understand me. So, active listening, letting someone finish before interrupting, asking what they meant by that before reacting, following up on something. If someone said they felt a certain way or did something, I try to make a note. So if someone said they took a trip, I was like, oh, how was that trip? You said you were traveling here. They're usually surprised that I can remember, but I just try to lock it in my head, and I'm like, okay, make sure to follow up on that, because it was important enough for them to mention it. And then that shows that you're invested in them. Little things, so small. And use your phone to help you out. If your partner sees something that they like and you know they're not going to buy it for themselves, but they like drop a hint, put it in your voice memo on an anniversary, birthday, or a just because day. Surprise them. They're like, yeah, I was listening to you. You don't think I'm listening, but I'm listening all the time. So you can validate that you care. Little things will make the difference. Okay? For those of you that are looking for love, don't focus on who said no. Don't force the connection. If it's not there, it's not there. If you went out on a first date and it feels like this, it's not there. I don't care how good looking, how popular, how much your family wants you to date that person. There's no connection in the 8 and 2 of Swords. Literally, it's like two plugs in two different directions wanting two different power sources. So one thing that I'm just validating is something it's not there. So if you don't feel it, don't force it. I don't care what mom, aunt, uncle, sister, brother, best friend wants. It's your life, okay? The other thing is making more time for yourself first and making room in your life for someone else. I see a powerful relationship on the horizon, but I see a forced connection that will block that. I see a lack of time and space that will make this difficult to flourish. The energy is interesting because it reflects the work that you need to do. So whatever you're lacking in your life, support, confidence, etc., do the work there first, because otherwise this person is going to need more than you can give, or you're going to need more than they can give. And so a little bit of work needs to be done first, and it's self-care. That's the main thing. Take care of yourself. And then what we do see coming through could be Capricorn energy. And then we also have, I don't know why I went straight to Capricorn. I went to it. I was going to say Earth sign, but Capricorn came through. So for some of you, it could be Capricorn, but it could be any Earth sign. But for whatever reason, Spirit made me say Capricorn. So there could be Capricorn. And then we also get Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio in the past. I did keep saying the past should be in the past, though. So I feel like the Earth sign, or the Capricorn in particular, wants to come through and help you out and kind of be with you in this next phase. There you go. All right. It's a surprise, too. This is not I don't think you should be set up. I don't necessarily think this is going to happen on a dating app. I think this is going to be random. And random by that, I mean synchronicity or just perfect time, perfect place, okay? If you're single and happy, I feel like it's still a really good time to connect. You're trying to find your tribe, your spiritual tribe, and it's kind of coming through tribal energy here. People that understand you and celebrate you. And so this could be deciding to do something again, it could be an art or craft or creative sort of endeavor. It could be something like taking a class, auditing it. You don't necessarily need to even pass it. It's just like, I want to find people that have the same general interests as me. And I feel like it's a perfect time for that. And also, because you're not putting so much energy into relationships, writing skills are coming through out of nowhere. So make sure that you're journaling stuff, writing stuff down, new ideas, new energies, new opportunities are going to come through in a sort of journaling sense. And great time for spiritual and creative development. Okay, on to destiny. Yay for this. Rediscover your zeal. Pay attention to the passion you are feeling for discovery, learning, exploration. I feel like we just talked about this. Spirituality, travel, and your work on or your relationship. It's too many words. Too many words. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. So many words. What we're just looking at is what makes you happy. That's it. There's a lot of paragraph saying the same thing. Remember what I was talking about earlier, word soup? This is word soup. All we needed was the title. Does it make you happy? Does it bring a sense of zeal in your life? Good. If it doesn't, swim in a different direction. All right. Let's take a look at a big idea. What is it that we're focusing on today? And I'm going to focus on the three things here: heal, lighten, liberate, to make sure I touch on those. Save your final question until the end. We will look at that. But we're going to look at a three-part big idea. So let's give the cards a shuffle. I need to drink some water and then we'll look at this. All right. So one for healing. One for levity or lightening. One for liberation. Okay. So these are the three that we pulled. We're going to start off with the message for healing. Temperance in reverse. One of the angelic cards coming through. You got two today. Judgment is another one too. So temperance in reverse, much like the Hanged Man, but not as punctuated. The Hanged Man is like, you just need to stand still. The temperance card is, you should slow down. So there's a nuance between them. You're trying to rush through something, but if we look at this from a distance, doesn't it look like an Ace of Cups? In the traditional temperance card, the angel has two cups, and she's balancing the energy. So in this one, well, you can see it at the center. It's the human, but the angel's helping you. And there's a big old Ace of Cups. So by balancing out stuff in your life, it could be anything: your money, your time, your relationships, yourself, you get to the Ace of Cups overflowing. So do the emotional stuff, healing first, so you can be this big Ace of Cups, and you are guided. Meditate. So I love this because we have what could be a solar disk or a halo behind the angel. So take time. Each day is a reset. That's what I'm getting with that. Listen to your conscience, your higher self, or if you have clairaudience skills, listen to your guides and follow through. Follow through and take your time. It's not a race. It's not a race. Okay. So that was the healing. Take it slow. Now we're looking at the levity, lightning, fun. The Knight of Cups. Notice how the Knight is receiving. We talked about this earlier, all the hugging energy that kept coming through. So this Knight of Cups is open to receive. He kind of looks like Hermes or Mercury because of the wings on his crown or on his helmet. So here's the interesting thing. When you start to have fun, you don't have to hurry because things just start to naturally pick up. So one of the areas you can heal yourself in is in just enjoying things. For many of you, it's still the weekend. If not, make some time during the week. See a movie. Go out to dinner with a friend. Take a hike. Do something just for you one of the nights of the week. You don't have to do it every night, but it would be really powerful to carve out 5 to 10 minutes each day and enjoy yourself. I don't care what it is. Treat yourself. It reminds me of Parks and Recreation. They did it one day a year, but I'm like, Don't go overboard like they did. But like, yeah, just 5 to 10 minutes a day, chill a little bit, listen to some music, talk to a friend, phone a friend, do something that brings us joy, and receive. I am ready to receive. That's the big message on this Knight of Cups. And by receiving some joy, look at all the little hearts, you can work your way to the King of Cups eventually, or the King of Hearts, because this connects to hearts in traditional playing cards. So you got to have some fun. It makes more people come into your life because they're like, I want some of that. So you have to get into the energy of joy, laughter, and fun. All right. And then the energy for liberation. I do think this is true. Okay. So part of this is movement. To everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn. I'm going to do nothing but music today. So yeah, wherever you are, you're not stuck. Tomorrow's a new day. The day after that's a new day. And slowly you're turning through the wheel of fortune, which isn't just money. It's seasons of the heart, seasons of your life, seasons. We're in the equinox. We have a seasonal card here. And today is a day for balance. So, the equinox is really a powerful moment, just like solstices are. And it doesn't matter if you're northern or southern hemisphere. Equal light, everything equal for a little bit. So in this moment in time, look in the mirror, see yourself as, if you're not feeling this energy of worthy, see yourself as being equal, and then start to open up to being more than enough. Financial freedom is liberation. So one thing that you can work on to liberate yourself is to heal your finances and to look at your expenditure of time and energy as well, and make sure that it's balancing out, since we are now looking at the equinox in particular. I don't feel like I need to pull an extra card for the equinox because this one is the equinox. Everything's turning and shifting and moving. And so let's see ourselves now as being ready and deserving. Sometimes we feel like we're underwater. Sometimes we're on top of the world. But those are punctuated moments. Most of our time is spent somewhere in the middle. Okay? You are worthy. Are you ready and willing to receive? If you are, the Wheel of Fortune is here to help you out. All right, that was powerful. I'm not surprised. I always enjoy, my favorite readings of the year are equinoxes, solstices, New Year's, Halloween, because the energy is very punctuated. We'll be doing a special Halloween one soon. Very punctuated on these celestial things. I also like eclipses, but and some of the lunar stuff, but I knew today would be special because of all the dream energy. So it is, and it will continue to be for the next 24 to 48 hours. So we're going to do a quick meditation, but stick around because afterwards you get to ask a question. Whatever is on your mind, whatever is in your heart and you really want to know, save it for a second or two, and let's meditate. Before we meditate, if you like this, like and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel, and it makes me happy, so please, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and meditate. Close your eyes. We're going to tune in for about 1.5 minutes. You can do this. Even if you don't like meditating, just listen to my voice. All right, take a deep breath. We don't breathe often enough. On the exhale, I'd like you to let go of anything that's been troubling you. Just send it up into the sky, into the heavens, into the sun. See it just eviscerate, evaporate, and turn into a little puff of white smoke. Looking at the sun, I'd like you to breathe in the golden light that you see. And all of us are receiving about an equal amount of sunlight today, so you can all benefit about the same here. See the sun coming through, connecting with your heart, going into your lungs. From the lungs, it's entering into the bloodstream, and that's like you plugging into an outlet. It lights you up from the inside out, just like the stardust and the star that you are. Everything on this planet is from a star, including yourself. So I want you to connect with that and think to yourself, I had the capacity when I was a star to shine, I can shine again. Someone may have tried to limit, mute, or eliminate my shine, but I got it back. I have it back today. And I'm not going to let it go. We've reignited the fire within your heart. And imagining now that you were to meet Anubis at the end of your days, your heart would be bright, your heart would be light, and you could go into the next dimension. If there's anything that you feel is taking that heart and making it heavy, in this moment in time, I want you to commit to yourself to change at least one of those things today or this week so that it can get just a little bit lighter. Come back to this meditation after you did that, and then do the other. Imagine, if you will, that you see the heart starting to even out on the scales, as light as a feather. Feel that lightness of being. We're not just talking about how much you're shining, but now that you feel like there's no weight of burden, there's no weight of thought, that you could float into the sky and just go into the heavens. Whenever you feel heavy, come back to this meditation and realize that you can get there, that it's not as heavy as it seems. It's just a moment. It's just a thing. It will pass, like we saw in the Wheel of Fortune. See all of your energy now as a feather, and gently allow that feather to come back into your heart space. Put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. See it light up. And keep shining, folks. Took a minute to get there, but you found your shine again. Okay. I'm sure you have at least one question. Pick one, and let's focus on that final question in this final card. Okay, the devil you know came through. I like this one. This is a very unique illustration. This kind of reminds me of the Thoth deck, where it's seen as more of a what would you call it? A foundational card. So we're going to look at the Four of Pentacles from an enlightened point of view. She's building little sandcastles here, right? This is the tip of the iceberg. It's more than you think. It's more than now. The best is yet to come. And so if you asked me a yes or no, what I'm answering is a more nuanced question. If I had to pick, I would say no, because there's even more. Or open your mind to receiving more. This isn't all there is. You need to do a little more research. If you're feeling stuck, it's okay. This is about taking some risks and opening your heart, putting yourself out there, a little bit more vulnerability, a little bit more accessibility. And if, like these sandcastles, the high tide comes in and it breaks them down, there's an infinite resource of sand beneath it. You just got to get that bucket and rebuild. So you may be in the rebuilding phase, but the foundation is being built. Take your time. That's one of the common messages and themes of today's reading, and you'll be fine, okay? Don't settle for less, though, than you deserve. Don't become something less than you are. And that is everything there. All right, we're going to take a couple moments here just to say thanks and wrap it up for today. So first things first, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, it is easy, it is free, it helps the channel, it helps others discover this. Like, subscribe, and when this goes on replay, also leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing, what resonated the most with you. If you ever need more information on me, you can always go to my website, by the way, and you can also give me a follow on social media. It's my full name on all major platforms, and all the links are on the main YouTube channel page. You know, it'll say like 13 plus links, and you can get them all there. You can also, like I said, go to my website for more. Avoid anybody on social media that tries to message you and asks for stuff. That's usually an imposter. Their name will be misspelled. They'll say something, you know, bizarre like, "Oh, I was drawn to you." No, block and report. That's not me. Okay, if you would like to show support, you can do it right here on YouTube through Super Stickers, Super Chat, and through memberships. And I want to just, again, welcome all of the newest members. Say thank you to anybody that just recently joined. You guys like the balloons from before. And show a little bit of gratitude to all of you that joined today. So everybody, I appreciate it. I'm just saying a little extra thanks for those that went the extra distance here. So starting off with either newly gifted members or newly joined members, here we go. Okay, if I can get the right tab in front of me. Here we are. So here are all the newest ones from today, including the ones that were gifted by me. Let's see. Kufi or Cuffy, Souza, I think it is, Ms. A, Natalie, Calculated, Paradoxal, Louisa Choi. I think that's everybody. So welcome or welcome back to all of those. And let me take a moment here to celebrate milestones and also thank those who gifted memberships. So Kristen, thank you for gifting a membership today. Let's see. I don't think this person must have joined beforehand. So Melly, welcome. Good to have you as a channel member. Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Let's see. And then again, welcome to everybody that I gifted. Lorna, thank you also for gifting 5 after I did. I appreciate that. Let's see. And also congrats, Lorna, for being a member for 35 months. You're very welcome for the reading. I'm glad you showed up. All right, now let me say thank you to those who gave in the form of super sticker or super chat. And here are the supers for today. PJ2457, Tracy, Dr. Nona, Olympia, Schoolhouse, Lori, Tamara Tamara, Jamie, Jackie, Kay Pommet, Annabella, PJ again, thank you, Colette, Popcorn, Monica, Jeannie, and Koi at Play. Thank you guys. I appreciate your generosity and just your kindness for showing up. I know some of you did a combination of gifting and also gifting of memberships, so much appreciated. And I also think there was somebody that did their first super today, Kay Pommet. Thank you so much for that. And also PJ, that was your 5th super, so thank you. Sometimes it calls those out. And that was everything. Thank you guys so much. I'll be wrapping up the remainder of the readings over this week. Should be a busy week, so stay tuned to the main channel page for all of that. Let's see, Apollo's back in the background, so we can throw him up on the channel page here for one more moment. Thank you so much for taking some time, being present today. Remember to have some fun. He's basically a cat. He stays in the sunlight until he starts to pant, and I have to take him out. He's the cutest. All right, anyway, guys, I appreciate your love and support. I hope you guys have something fun planned for the day ahead. Let me see if I can get him in view there. I know, yes, we're trying to get you more in the frame, buddy. Wishing guys all the best. Thank you very much for showing up today, for doing the work, and I appreciate you guys. Have a great one. I'll see you this week, and I'll see you next weekend. Same time, same place. Bye, everyone. And by the way, thank you, Dakota, for your help in moderating.